back. We're back. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. See, hold on. Check, check, check. Mic check. All right. We're doing it again. We're doing it again. We're back in. We're back in. First one was a test. This is kind of still a test. I mean, we're still working on things. I'm working on levels. Whoa, what was that? Trying to get this sounding more professional as it keeps on going. So you can see me here with the headphones. I could hear myself with the headphones, like you're supposed to, right? But either way, doesn't matter. But yeah, episode 2. Gonna do something hopefully entertaining today. What you just heard was from our Audioplay 10 years, but also it's a track that was released, by Ala Lakowski. Great dude. Awesome tracks. This was our 17th release. It's called Moai. This was the original artwork right here. He's released other stuff with us. That's him right there. Cool guy. Awesome stuff. That man. It's such a deep, driving. Like when you listen to minimal today, what is minimal on Beatport? Because back like in 2014, I'm still stuck, I guess, in that time frame where like minimal used to be 124 BPM, sometimes 122. Trent Mahler. I remember Legends was like, if that's how you pronounce it, was like #1 on Beatport for the longest. Trent Mahler remix. And like Moan and all his stuff, that was slower stuff, and it was stuff like this. It was like very 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 chill. These kicks that were very snappy, percussions were very snappy, minimal amount of synths. And now when I listen to minimal, that's what's considered minimal techno on Beatport and just in general. I guess Gen Z changed it up. It has to be 130 BPM. It has to be 129, 130, sometimes 132. Like that's getting into progressive house and trance area. Like trance is what, 138. Anything above 135. I mean, in reality, there's no barriers. You could do whatever you want. Music is music. It's art. You could do whatever you want with it. You make something cool, whatever it is. But traditional trance, is 138, 136. When you're getting into between 128 and 132, that's progressive house. And now minimal's like at 130. And they kind of follow the same idea. You have like those kicks on the off beat, like and then it's like they're just too busy now. Like and minimal to me back in the day was like slower, more like like this. And Ala Lakowski, I mean, he did a great job on that. I love him. On the 10-year, well, that one actually, was it Moai or Underdog? That was Moai. Underdog, we'll probably listen to this one a little bit later. Yeah, it was Moai, because I can differentiate between the time and well, because I know your tracks. Sorry. But anyways, so yeah, today, what do we got? About 10 minutes in. The track took about 6 minutes. Let's do something here. Today I wanted to do some live production. I'm working on different segments, different fun things, entertaining things, and of course we'll do some intermissions, take some breaks and stuff like that, and listen to some more tracks. The first the pilot episode that brought up when I downloaded the video off of YouTube. First, YouTube didn't want me to download the video unless I had premium, and I'm like, you're crazy. It's my stuff. So I was like, should I record it while I'm doing this? I don't know what kind of stress my PC could take it, but I don't know if it's gonna affect like the stream. Excuse me. But at the end of the day, I was like, Should I start downloading? I'm not downloading the. I mean, I'm well recording. I'm not live recording while I'm streaming on this one either, because it did let me download. A couple days later, it let me download, which I ended up putting a thumbnail on it and just repurposing it as a video on there. I'm gonna chop it up, probably make it into some reels, some shorts, or whatever. We're gonna outfit this whole entire operation into social media and do some outreach to everybody. But I'm looking at like ideas and stuff, and I'm sitting here going, we got to be a little bit more entertaining than last week, right? Or 4 days ago, or whatever it was. So I did go through Ableton a little bit, and here's something. I'm gonna pull it. I'm dragging it because I have 3 screens. I have one here, and then the main one that we have here with the webcam, which is right in front of me. And here it comes. This is something literally the day right after. Excuse me, I don't know what's wrong with my voice. The day right after we did the pilot, the first one. This is something that I don't know. I was just hanging out on the weekend, and my daughters were running behind me playing with their toys, and wife was out there in the living room, and I just these days I don't go into it saying I'm gonna go and make a track today. If I'm around the computer and I'm done paying bills or doing whatever it is, all of a sudden Ableton just magically ends up opening up for some reason, I'm just, and years and years of doing this, you just kind of slap things together quite quickly. So this is why I have so many darn tracks, name so many darn things, because there's so many. And this one, almost all the stuff you see right here was done before I even clicked save and named it. And I named it Slow Track for a reason, because it's something a little bit out of character from the personas, the multiple ones that I have, but it's not very far from the people that we've signed on to Audioplay. It's interesting. It even has something that I haven't cleared on here, which I'm not going to play on here. If you guys know anything about Aphex Twin, you know about his bouncing ball. That is one crazy ass track, and there's a part that I really like about it, and I was like, I'd like to use that sound, but it's not cleared. I have it there, and what's funny is that I used it and it doesn't really sound good with it, so that's gonna be permanently turned off, and we're gonna keep it off for copyright reasons, and shoot, it just doesn't sound good, to be honest. Like with this track, it sounds good with what he did. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit so the audio doesn't overpower the microphone. Let me get some more levels on this. We're about even right there. Alright, so there's a lot of people are tired of it, but splice. There's a lot of little splice samples everywhere. Mainly percussions and a couple of atmospheric things, and what you just heard right here was this. So that sound right there. Looking for something that was going to be a vocal, but whatever. Let's take that off for a second. What you mainly have here is a kick. It's a pretty decent kick. On this kick, there's literally nothing. There's nothing. There's no EQ. There's nothing. Now, there's only one, but we could definitely, we could improve this kick. But for now, it's pretty processed already as it is, because it came, again, out of Splice. It's not a bad kick at the end of the day. It's not a bad kick. Can we improve it? Probably. Can we destroy it? More than likely, absolutely, yes, we can. But this is most of the stuff in here is placeholders until we actually start breaking it down into more serious elements of the track, and that's kind of my workflow. I kind of wanted to change my workflow, maybe with this maybe doing more of these live productions. I could change my workflow a little bit more, because what I like to do is bang out a lot of instruments and kind of scenes and stuff, and then you see how this is all blank, arranging. And this is the part that I end up hating. So maybe I should do them both at the same time, because I don't get writer's block. I know what it wants to sound like. I get lazy and I don't want to lay it out. And it's like, oh, you mean on the eighth note, on the eighth bar or whatever, I'm going to have to do a drum fill. And to make it sound good, I'm going to have to do a drum fill from scratch, which means I'm going to have to build this drum. Oh, God, it becomes a task. So I've been thinking of changing my workflow a little bit too, and to be able to actually finish tracks a little bit faster, because the tracks they finish themselves. It's not difficult at this point. I know a lot of people have writer's block, but once you get in the groove of these things, there's no writer's block at all. Where it really started was here. I haven't used Massive consistently in about 10 years. I played with it maybe a few months back and was able to get it from Native Instruments, but this was the king of kings, before Serum took over. And this was a patch that I have from Avilo and my own little band that we had, Fresh, back in the day. You should see us in Coconut Grove, man. We used to tear that place apart. This was a pluck, though. This is a pluck. It's very powerful. So on the low end, it's cool. On the high end, you do all kinds of crazy. It's a very, I want to say universal. It's like a utility synth. I love it. It's a great synth. I forget where I got this isn't a patch or anything. It was probably because like now you could just download patches, go on Splice, wherever, download patches, upload them into your thing, and boom, you got something. It wasn't that prominent back when this was made. This was more, I think I got this from a YouTube video in like 2013 or something like that. But anyways, hand drawn, and then saved. But for this, there's a very chill, like repetitive EDM kind of thing going on here. There's like a mid bass, whatever. And that kind of spawned everything. Then there was another thing that I was messing with, and I go, well, if I'm going to mess with Massive, I'm going to mess with a classic right here, Synth 1. Synth 1, we all know Synth 1. If you make music, and you've made music for at least a couple of years, you know about Synth 1. It's one of the most widely known, used, old VSTs. It's freaking beautiful. It's one of the most perfect VSTs ever made. And I was like, a lot of this stuff sounds great, but how many things can I do to this? And then ultimately, see if I can remember what I changed. It's been like 3 or 4 days. We changed the waveform, we added a sub to it. Pretty much almost every knob on here has been tweaked little by little. Little by little. The arpeggiator is on, which is why you hear, because it doesn't come default with the arpeggiator on. The filter was messed. The amp with the sustain was changed around a lot. And ultimately it came out with this sound. And actually, let me take this off. I ended up with something like that. Kick starts on it. But then the gate, the delay, the EQ was added afterwards. What really is the start here that kind of starts screwing with it is this demo version of Glitch 2. Because I used to use Glitch 1 from Illformed. Love it. If you listen to a lot of the old stuff that was on Audioplay, there's a lot of that in there. A lot of the stuff that's stuttering and tape stopping and distorting. That's Glitch 1. Glitch 1, I wanted to get it back into the new PC that I built, a couple years ago. It's 32-bit. It doesn't work on a 64-bit Windows. And if anybody out there who's a computer nerd knows how to convert a 32-bit program into 64, have an emulator to do it, please let me know. I purchased it back in the day. It's free now. I have it, but I just can't use it. Ableton just doesn't pick it up in its VST folder. So if you have a solution to that, please. It technically kind of does the same thing, but here's a different layout with more like knobs and things you could do to it, and I don't care for that. I kind of like the old way. You know, if D Blue, ill-formed, if you're sitting there listening to this, you know, like, please make your old 164-bit if you can, or can you hook me up with a free version of Glitch 2? You know, I'll pump you every time. No, I'm just kidding. But if there's any way to capture that old Glitch 1 into this, and then it's over. There's so many cool things you could do. But this is really cool. The only problem with it is with the demo version, it adds this white noise in the back. And you're going to hear it coming up. It sounds like you're on a beach. There it is. Which, to be honest, to be 100% honest, it actually adds to the atmosphere. It's kind of cool having some white noise pump into the track. So I don't really joke's on you. You know, it actually sounds good. But anyways, so that started with this. Let me turn this off. I don't even know what this is. Okay, no, that's not part of it. So what we started off with was which is cool, but it's cool, but the entire track can't be doing this. This sound cannot be going on the entire track. Could be an intro, but eventually has to fade out. Could be part of a breakdown, whatever it is, right? So I was like, let me get a placeholder kind of hat loop going on. Found this really nice thing over here in Splice. Nothing on it. Nothing on it. No compression, no nothing. Nothing. And then when you add it all together, it kind of complements this very simple sound. Of course, add in synth 1. And I gotta label all these. I'm being very lazy. I need to label all these. It's just, I've been working on it, so I kind of remember where everything's at. You know, here's a rim shot, because I was like, if we're gonna do some sort of a snare, this thing's like kind of chill. Why would we do a aggressive snare or clap? So you got, which has been added to the default reverb bus that's here. I kind of altered the decay a little bit. That's the only thing that I touched on this, but this is the default Ableton reverb bus that comes in with a reverb and delay. So then if I were to let this go, which I'm highly debating of even letting that stay in there, you know. And then we get into where I started getting bored. I'm like, it sounds super cool. It's very basic. It's very, you know, ready to go, you know, make some sort of chill ass progressive track, but let's make it something cool. And that's where this one came in. This is also from Splice, but this is a film ambient loop. So this is in the, I guess, genre of film effects or something. And it's this whole thing that doesn't make any sense. It's obviously slower on Splice, but when I imported it in here, I had to warp it to 124. But then this little piece right here that I selected and kind of warped is So then when you add that to the entire mix here, it's so it's kind of cool, right? So I duplicated it, moved it in front. I want it chopped. Serum effects. Threw a LFO on it, 16ths. And what you get out of that is this. Which when you add the two together, it sounds like this. Which gives it a cool atmosphere, but also when the track starts driving into a more mainline verse kind of thing towards a build-up, I mean, before the actual build-up, and it starts getting a little bit more open. Turn off that other one, which is kind of cool, right? This is an experimental one, which is why it's a different color. I don't know, I don't like it. I threw it into Looper and changed the pitch on it, and I think this would be good like on a hip-hop track. Like if I was making like a trap beat or something and we were doing a beat switch where you go from this guy to this guy. More melancholy on this one. Especially if I do. So you're switching from this. Boom, boom. And if I were to like on a club track, that's not going to work. But in a hip hop track, if all of a sudden you have like one of those Drake switches, or you know, or you have any type of switch, you know, whether it's Drake or not, he just likes to do them a lot, you know, before he got housed by Kendrick, you know, and stopped making as much stuff. But on his things, there's a mid beat switch, and a lot of rappers have been doing that and stuff. So I think you know, that kind of thing. You know, you switch from obviously the more the happier tones, and then all of a sudden the song gets switched and it's all of a sudden turns serious, and it's like, but of course with a hip-hop beat track, you know, trap kind of thing going on. This, what is this? This was a sub. I'm trying a different technique, so I took an actual clip of a sub and trying to throw it into a simpler and seeing how this, I'm not liking it, and I might switch this over to a like a serum thing, you know, maybe going and making it just a sine wave or one of the presets that I have. You can definitely hear the difference. It does its job, but I don't know if it's not making that much of a difference to me in my ears, and maybe that's good. Maybe it's just a subtle difference that'll just give it a little bit of body, but it's basically same thing as this guy here. Same thing as this. Just to give it some body, and we'll leave that on for now. Let's take off the rim shot. Is this the hi-hat? Yeah, so here's a hi-hat. Give it some more energy. Hi-hat, the hat loop, and this rim shot kind of don't mesh very well. It could be the reverb. See how I just lowered it right now and it sounds a little bit more glued. But then here comes the fun stuff. So thanks to this dude, what's his name on Instagram? Let me look him up. Give me a quick second. Thanks to this dude on I found him on Instagram or YouTube. He has a YouTube channel and an Instagram, and he's out there. He's getting out there at least. He sells some sample packs, but he runs through how he makes certain patches. Sam Smyers, and I've purchased one of his things to support him, but he does some crazy cool patches, and there's a Medusa from Friends, track Friends. What is it? I got a lot of pretty girls and they all like me. Or I got a lot of pretty friends and they all like me. Something like that. And that's why you always see them at home party. So you have this synth that he tries to emulate, and I've been using it in a lot of my stuff. Now this has kickstart on it and these knobs right here, so it's just a solid sounding, synth, it's just nice. So I was like, how do I get I'm thinking this is going into that area of kind of like what KX5 just did, that project with Cascade and deadmau5. Well, if we're going into that kind of melancholic, melodic, techno, progressive house kind of thing, what can I add on top of this to make it a little bit cooler? And started with this one. So then added on top, it's and then that kind of evolved into this as a second scene when things grow more with tension. And you have these two notes up here on the top. So that was kind of cool. And then there's also this other thing, KXD Alive, which is KX5. But Sam Smyers also made this one, which I've saved this preset. That cool sounding synth from Alive. And then when you I added a pitch. Well, the pitch is not doing any damn thing on it, and the arpeggiator's off, but the kickstart and the EQ's on it. But this thing sounds like this. This is what it's just kind of like these hits at the end. So then let's add it all together. So now we're kind of getting a shape of this thing. And if we add these two guys right here, we're getting somewhere, right? So what's going on with these guys who are just kind of hanging out? This is a weird hat loop that I'm not too okay with. That's why it's all the way pushed over here to this side, because it kind of throws off the vibe. To me, it kind of makes it too offbeaty and too, like, I don't know. I'm not a beatniker or anything like that. I don't even know what this is. What is this? I thought this was cool sounding. This is a splice sample, and I threw it through an auto filter with the Kickstart sidechain and dropped out most of its low end. Kind of added some color. I don't know if I might use it like breakdown build up kind of thing, just to kind of give a little bit of flavor. I might modulate a little bit, maybe chop it up, you know, but to give a little bit more, I don't know, some type of color to it. And then here, this is, I'm not going to do the Aphex Twin one, you guys can't hear that. But there was a group of vocals that are in tune with C minor that this is in. And this one seems to be the one that kind of fits its mold. So then you kind of add everything all together and you get something like this, which it sounds super busy, but when you start taking pieces out and you start saying, okay, this is going to be the verse, this is going to be the hook, this is going to be the chorus, and you kind of like get the structure going, you know, but this is everything all together. It's going to sound super busy, but for some reason it all goes. Complements each other. And then the last thing I was working on was this here, and this is not complete. This is something, what is this? These are chords. So this is when things start getting a little bit tricky, and I'm wondering which direction is this actually going to take. So if we add all this together, it completely takes a whole entire new persona. It's like this thing put on a cape and just changed. So this is what it sounds like with that. It was the last thing I was working on. Powerful. The chords are powerful. There's no denying that, and it scared me, but also it's kind of like, what do I do with it? So, I mean, with that being said, let's listen to a track or two. In fact, I'm gonna hit you up with two of them from this, two of our cool tracks, and take a quick break. We're gonna play Randy by NG and Sign Here, and it's probably going to go into Doubts by Bass Freak. We talked about NG and Sign Here and Bass Freak last episode, so I hope you guys enjoy, and we'll be right back.
With the respect Stan, could you grab me a beer? Stan? Oh, hey, Stan, could you grab me a beer? Stan? 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 Oh, hey, Stan, could you grab me a beer?
Hey, come on, people! We can keep partying, can't we? Yes, we can!
I come up with all my best stuff in the bathroom at work. I use this program to import the recordings I make on my phone.
Dad.
Hey, come on, people! We can keep partying, can't we? Yes, we can!
But it gets even better when I add the drum loop. Oh my God.
Oh, hey, Stan. Oh, hey, Stan, could you grab me a beer?
Dan, are you okay?
Yeah, Dad, we're just rehearsing our band.
Oh, I thought a group of Vietnamese people were having their intestines pulled out through their mouths.
Oh, hey, Stan.
Oh my God.
Oh, hey, Stan, could you grab me a beer?
Yeah. Ain't no doubt about it. Yeah. Yeah. Ain't no doubt about it. Yeah. Ain't no doubt about it. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Incredible tracks as always, always incredible tracks. Out of Bass Freak, out of NG and Sign here. I think so. I want to keep these about an hour, maybe go over a little bit an hour. We'll do a quick arrangement really quick. We'll get our idea down. The way we'll get our idea down is, which one was it? It's this guy right here. Let's let go of all the scenes. Got a little pop going on right here, so we're gonna cut that out. Doop doop doop. We got our 4 right here. Let's consolidate for now. Not bad, right? Let's put our main one is this one. Let's start naming them actually. So we're gonna rename mid bass. We're gonna name this rename chord changer, because it changed everything up once that came out. This synth right here, rename, we got to keep it the synth 1 plus glitch 2. 1 plus 2. I should just change it 1 plus 2. You know what, let's do that. Rename. Got our kick, rename kick main, because this is what we're basing everything off of it, you know, off of everything else. We're gonna move you up to the front. What were you again? Oh yeah, a hat loop, rename hat loop lop loop. Yeah, stop blinking, leave me alone. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. How are we going to rename cinema pad, rename cinema pad it's a chop, but 16 LFO. Let's name it that. Cinema pitch down. Which this will most likely get deleted from the entire thing, to be quite frank. Subsample. I like to keep the sub with the bass. This is the rim. I also like to keep these, the percussion, kind of close together. Rename rim hit. Put hat loop up here in the front. And we could turn all these on now at this point, because everything's off. This guy. Since it's something that I'm very aware of, KX5, this lets me know, oh, I know that sound. I know that sound. So this one's gonna be a little bit more difficult to name, so I'm just gonna name it the Medusa hit. I like to put the synths in front of pads. So you got the mid bass with the sub sample, Medusa hit with the KX5, chord changer. This is kind of like a percussion almost. So I'm gonna put 1+2 over here. And then we got this dude. I'm just gonna delete this guy. Screw that guy. That doesn't even sound that great with all of this together. This is a pad loop splice, and it'll stay with these guys right here. And the reason I'm organizing them in this manner, just in case I have to duplicate and do different layers with, you know, okay, maybe something needs to get wider, so I need to duplicate it and do a low end, mid, high. Then I could group them and then do like master effects on the group. You know, always thinking about the mix too, you know, at the very end of the day. The hell are you? Oh, your hi-hats. So you're gonna go up here in the front with hat loop. You'll go in front of the hat loop. Yeah, you'll go in front. It's more basic than the hat loop. Aphex Twin, that's self-explanatory. And rename vocal snip or hit or something like that. Vocal 1. Leave it all the way the fuck in the back. That's actually not a bad intro. Hold on. Let me close all these up. Close, 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 so I can see everything. See what's happening with everybody. Take them all off. Doop doop doop. And loop. Doop 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 and loop. No. Nope. Let's try the mid bass already right at the beginning. So we got the mid bass, and you know what? Let's put an auto filter on this thing. What does it sound like with a sub? Okay. There's too much aggressive reverb on it. Let's pull off the reverb a little bit. Oh, that must be massive reverb then. Alright, we could deal with that, I guess. this off. Dupe it. And then just face melt it right off the bat. Too much energy right off the bat. It might sound good just with that, but then again, this is why I made 1+2. And then if we probably put a auto filter on it. That's what's up. Okay, so we're gonna do that here. We're gonna take off this loop, and from right here. Do that. All right, so then this I might just take this out, like completely out. It's cool and all, but like we kind of have this already. Saved in a minute, so there we go. I think what I'm going to do, I did a lot of progress here, labeling everything. Actually, this should be arranged very quickly, with minimal things added. Probably a group of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tracks of effects for transitions, or doubling up to try to make some sort of, I don't know, reverses, double kicks, whatever it is. Spreading out different ones. It could end up, these are the main elements of the thing. It could turn into a 30 track thing along the line as we arrange it. But I am actually happy with what I did right here. Organizing it, organizing my thoughts, explaining them, and being able to sit here and go, okay, I'm comfortable. I'm gonna wait and put it together when I have a little bit of time, because we're now about an hour into the show. I'm gonna start wrapping it up. Have an idea for the next one. Have an idea, and I don't want to try to go with the trends, but people do like reaction videos, so I gotta kind of figure out what's kosher with reaction videos in terms of copyright and stuff if I'm gonna do one. I also want to do reviews, and the first thing I want to review for everybody is this bad boy right here. I have it plugged in. Hold on, let me unplug it. The Moog Mavis that I showed in the first one. Kind of want to play with it for the entirety of the show and kind of play some tracks and stuff like that, of course, with intermissions. So episode 3, it's going to come this weekend. We're going to start getting more of a schedule. I'm also going to start reaching out to people from the label, see if we could do some interviews, and probably reach out to as many music heads and agents as I can to see if we can get somebody cool on here. I'm hoping this thing, it does have a lot of potential. I'm hoping that in the arrangement of this, something really, really interesting and unique comes out of it. And it tends to happen, you know, usually when I'm laying down something, when it starts getting towards the end of the track, I'm going, oh, why didn't I do that from the beginning? And then I just kind of fizzle out with this cool sounding thing. And I'm actually gonna play us out with a couple of tracks, maybe one track. One of our newer ones, Let You Go. It's a 102 Coleco thing, which is me and me. But you'll understand why when I mean, like, hey, the end of the track sounds really dope. Like, why did you start ending there? It sounded like it's just starting to get started, which actually is pretty cool when you're, let's say, not me. Let's say you're a DJ and you're like, I'm gonna play this track, you know, because I like it in my set. It kind of gives this really, it's weird, it's this hype transition into your next track, which everybody wants that when you're switching tracks. All of a sudden this thing's getting hyper, oh wow, and it's switching into my next track, boom, and it sounds cool, especially if you're mixing it in key, you know, using mixing key or something like that. And speaking of the double, let me head that way right now. So we got this track right here. So it was AP031. 29, I think, was the first one that we came back with this year, if I'm not mistaken. So this is like 2 or 3 in to what we've done this year. We haven't released in about like 4 months, which I'm freaking dying about that. But it's been a lot of stuff trying to get the LP together. The LP is a special project because, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to make another one. You know, it's taken me 10 years to make one. And we're right there, and I have the tracks, and I have them ready, but I want it to be special. I'm going to have my daughters featured on it, you know, and some other cool things on it. And it might be long, it might be short. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm kind of narrowing it down, the Pizza Party LP. And I expect to try to make an LP for each of my different other personas, and encourage any of my other people on my roster that are still making tracks to submit an LP. Or if anybody else is interested in doing something like that, you know, that'd be cool. Because that's ultimately what it is. Because when you look at stuff like Eminem, right? This is an LP. huge one. But he's not making the beats, you know. He's rapping. Not saying that's terrible or anything like that. You know, nobody could rap like him and create things like him. Not taking anything away from him. But when you look at singles versus LPs, you know, this is an EP right here. The Infinite EP. Well, actually, no, that's just a single. There's the LP, the Slim Shady LP, Marshall Mathers LP, because they were making mixtapes in the meantime. This is why I say that hip hop and house music are very similar. Very, very similar in the way that you can release music. Even more so today, but even pop music's getting into it. Release one track. And then, you know, in the meantime, you know, Post Malone sitting in the back making multiple tracks with a crew of people who are just pumping him beats and pumping him music while he's going in there saying, yeah, that sounds good, let me edit this one, I want to throw a little guitar on top of that one. But he's just getting fed stuff, so he gets to sit there and just live life and go, I'm gonna say something on this thing, and I'm gonna, meanwhile, you know, people who are where he was back then are working on things, you know, and trying to get, especially in the EDM. If you're sitting here going, I'm going to make an LP here, I'm making every single element of the song. Hell, even I might even be writing the lyrics to get somebody on to sing. Hell, you might even be the singer of the song. So you never know. And then at that point, your EDM turns into more of like a pop thing, or you're not even a genre thing. You're almost genre bending at that point. You're sitting there going, I just make what I feel. And you're making everything. And there's a lot of people who just make everything. They make their own productions and their own songwriting, lyrics, and singing on it, which is an awesome thing. You're like a one-person show. And I find that very fascinating. I used to think, hey, let me just pump out these little tracks so that somebody can mix in to my tracks. Maybe I could get a single on Vandit or Black Hole Recordings, you know, when I was into trance more back in the day. And that was enough for me. Get on a radio show, press an album, just be, hey, I'm on Vandit, you know, hey, I'm on Black Hole. But then when you really start exploring and saying, I could do all kinds of crazy things, why not use, just like an artist uses a canvas and paint, this is your canvas and paint. It's the ears is the canvas, and the sounds are the paint. But anyways, I blacked out for a second. Let me get back to what I was doing. Let's start ending the stream. I'm gonna play "Let You Go," just to kind of give you an idea of where I was talking about how tracks are getting more hyper at the end when it comes to like what I'm talking about. Trying to improve that part, but either way, it's a great track. I thoroughly enjoy it. And yeah, if I do play another thing after that, it might be this one right after Feel Me. But we'll see. I might just end the stream right after Let You Go, save Feel Me for the next one. But either way, thank you for anybody who watches this. This label is undergoing a cultural reconstruction because it was picked up after 9-10 years of hiatus. A lot of things have changed, you know, a lot of social media has changed, so we're trying to catch up with the times, you know, we're trying to catch up, and slowly but surely this is going to get a little bit more fleshed out, and I really hope we get some live people on here so that we could talk, we could hash out some cool ideas, because that's the whole thing, community and everything. But either way, here's Let You Go. I'm gonna play you guys out with that. Let me see, hold on, is the volume even up? I don't even think I got this queued up correctly. Jeez. See, this is when I used to work in the radio. You know, you had sliders that you put tape over, and you're like, do not touch, because it's the level that we like. It won't clip here. So this is I'm gonna start this, and this track starts off hot. I'm gonna guesstimate right around here on the volume, and hope it doesn't go crazy. But anyways, here's Let You Go. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll be back probably in the next couple of days over the weekend. We're undergoing a hurricane here down in Miami. We didn't catch any of it, barely. We caught like a rain band. So prayers to the Panhandle and everybody up in the Ocala, kind of where Florida does this thing, you know. Prayers to you guys up there. We got scared back in '92 with Andrew and decided to build concrete houses, but I know the rest of Florida is still not doing that. So hopefully one day you guys will get it together and say, no, we need to build concrete houses throughout all of Florida, so our houses don't die, you know, so they don't get taken up by the wind of the storm surge. But anyways, that's a county thing. That's a Miami-Dade County thing. We have a code, you know. You can't build wood houses or plastic houses or cardboard houses. We have to be concrete cinder block. But anyways, good night, everybody. Here's Let You Go. Listen to it. Listen to what I'm talking about towards the end, okay? Take care, everybody.